Hi, I'm Jim Raffle. Welcome to this episode of the Jim and Shelby Show, all things print podcast. I'm joined as always.
By Shelby Sapusik. How are you today, Jim?
I'm doing great. I just
Good.
realized we're going to have like a sound check on this episode.
What do you mean?
Well, I've got this brand new sparkly MacBook Air, and I didn't hook up my special super secret microphone. So we're going to see how it sounds with the MacBook Pro.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Are you
congratulations.
still using your microphone with your new MacBook?
Yes. Well,
Oh,
I'm using my outside the Audio Technica that we got a long time ago.
the one that looks like a real studio microphone?
Yes, that's correct.
Cool. Yeah, I should hook mine back up. I don't even know where it is. Oh, there it is, over there. Um, so we're off topic, which is normal. What did we want to actually talk about today? Confident color, right?
Right. Yes. We've had two of them now. And we're doing this in partnership with Mamaki.
Hmm.
And we're open to doing it with other companies as well. But since we're doing it with Mamaki, there is a component where we are focusing on their Rasterlink and NPM3 software.
Well,
Um,
yeah, I think it's fair to say that anytime we do training with a specific vendor, we're happy to uh, modify either existing presentations that we've created or create new ones that focus on their technology. I mean, I think that makes sense.
sure.
Yeah.
But otherwise, most of our training, we say in our consulting in some ways is RIP agnostic and printer agnostic. We work with all sorts of RIP software, we work with all sorts of printers. And I've had someone call me and say, hey, I work with this RIP, not Rasterlink. Would this class benefit me? And I explained to them that yes, because we go through, the color management pyramid, we talk about basic color theory. So the building blocks are the same across the board, no matter what RIP or printer you're using.
Hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. And you asked earlier how I was doing. I'm in the middle of a busy week, actually. We're doing a G7 requalification for a client that lives or that lives that is near where I live.
Mhm.
And so I've got you can't really see it, but I've got a X-Rite i1 Pro 3 with the IO table all set up over here, and I've been measuring test sheets like crazy all week when I'm not on site with the client. So it's been a little busy, which actually has me thinking somewhat about the training. I think that some of the things we incorporate into Confident Color are essential for people who want to move forward and up their color game, essentially. So if if you don't know what your target is, then how do you know if you're hitting it, right? And I think that's one of the things we do talk about in Confident Color
Yeah.
is known printing to a known good printing condition, and the G7 specification provides many of those. So we do talk about that. We don't dive deep into the G7 specification or any of the specifications.
Of
But I think we do dive deep into basic color theory.
course we do. Yeah, sure.
And so, if you're looking to learn about, the basics of the differences between the CMYK printing space and the RGB visual space that you're used to looking at on your monitor if you live in the design world. We talk about that. If you're interested in the importance of illumination, we talk about that. In other words, if you look at just looking at this screen right now, it's clear that Shelby and I are both in different lighting environments just by looking at how white her ceiling is compared to my wall behind me, which isn't white, but you can still tell that there's a difference in the color temperature of where we're both sitting. And we talk about how important that is when we're
Well,
viewing.
sort of. You're blurred, so all I can see, I mean, I can kind of see the color, but yeah.
Mhm. Here, let me unblur if I can figure out how.
Yeah. There you go.
So you can see the substantial color difference there. I'm going to re-blur because sometimes we get some traffic behind me. So I'm not sure if you can hear the background singing. My office assistants are whining.
Oh, good.
So,
One thing we were discussing earlier, which I think is true, is Confident Color provides some knowledge gaps. And I saw it, I was thinking about this because the first class we did in LA in January, there seemed to be a mix of people of where they were in their color knowledge. Some of them were straight up beginners. They were just starting out a shop and just got a printer and they were trying to figure things out. And other people had some real experience with profiling, but were coming in to either review or learn more. And in the class we just did in Dallas last week, I felt like we were really just dealing with beginners. But either way, I'm seeing a lot of our attendees say, "Oh, that clicked. I knew that, but I didn't know how to describe it to my client. Now that makes a lot more sense." And we were just talking about filling in those gaps of knowledge, and I think Confident Color does do that.
Absolutely. It's only, I should say only, it is a 1 day class, and now that we've done it twice, it runs pretty much that full day. We run right up till about 4:30, quarter to five, because there's a lot to cover. We probably haven't described it too much yet, but in the morning we focus on what would be, I guess, traditional classroom learning. We're going through slide decks and basically creating a common base of knowledge. If you think of a pyramid, we're creating the base of the pyramid of your color knowledge. So we're going to cover the basic color theory, the basic color management theory, and then the process which we use to build profiles whenever we do that. And then in the afternoon, we actually take you through the process of building a profile, which is it's always interesting because it doesn't always turn out like you expect, which I think it's good for people to see. We've been fortunate that ours both turned out pretty well, but sometimes they don't. And we always tell people focus on the process, not the outcome. We're not here to build a commercial quality profile. We may get one, but that's not necessarily our goal in the class, is to show you the process to go through. And then we touch on spot colors as well, and how to properly match and or manage your spot colors in both the design side and the printing side.
Sure. Yeah, so our next one is in Milwaukee, in your home base, basically, your backyard, on May 14th. We have more coming up, but they're not ready to be announced yet.
Okay. Yeah, and the May 14th one is available for registration on our website. I know that room pretty well, so there is an attendance cap, and I think we've capped it around 12. We might be able to add a couple seats. I need to stop in there when I'm down that way and just make sure that the room can accommodate more than 12. But I don't think it really can comfortably, at least not last time I was there.
Okay.
So if you're interested, get signed up now, because it will. We had 11 or 12 in Dallas, so we probably will fill the room.
Yep, I agree. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
another part of Confident Color is we've actually, I thought we named our quarterly webinars Confident Color as well, right? And by the time by the time this is watched, we will have done our second quarterly webinar, which for me we may not have tagged them Confident Color, but they're part of the same concept, that we're trying to educate people at where they can meet us, right? And so we're doing these webinars every quarter. They're free and they're about an hour long. They are they'll be, hopefully by the time you see this, there'll be two of them available on our website. I think have we been putting them in the same spot as the Jim and Shelby show? I think we have, or in our training area, but you can find them. And they are, again, they're free education. They typically revolve around a product, but and the one that we just most recently did is about TrueHue, which is a monitor calibration system. And then we did one that was all around mobile color. So talking about our spec check mobile application how it can be used with the NICS spectrophotometers and color emitters. So
mhm.
we'll be doing more of those, because we are committed to do them quarterly. So we're working on the topic for the second quarter one right now. If you have ideas, let us know. We're always open to ideas for that too.
Agreed.
So, um,
Anything else?
I think the last thing I want to say about Confident Color is we see it as a stepping stone.
Mhm.
If you've had no color training in the past, it's a great 1 day program that combines the theoretical and the technical knowledge in the morning, with some not truly hands-on, but demonstrations of the technology in the afternoon. And there's no certification component. So what you can do after that class is you can start looking at either some of the iLearning online classes that will allow you to get the certifications, or we periodically offer the color management professional fundamentals course as an in-person uh, 2-day class where we'd spend a day on the presentations and then another day with in-person or hands-on-ish demos. Again, they're really demos, but they're live and you can get involved if you want. That has a certification component. So you can take a test, you can get a certification badge that you can display in your email, signature and other places. And then you can move on to things like the G7 expert training. So we see it as the entry point to a potentially long path of color training to become a real expert in this area.
Agreed. And coming out of the G7 expert training myself, I mean, it is a journey.
Yes, you are. Congratulations on passing that test, by the way. Was
Just a couple weeks ago now.
Yeah, and we already did a podcast about that, so we're not gonna talk about that. But I don't know. I think we're gonna wrap this one up. What is our next episode? It's gonna be a fun one, isn't it? Or am I
Yeah,
getting
well,
ahead of me?
we're going to preview ISA because we are going to be in ISA. I think that's our next one, or at least it's going to be one coming up very soon because ISA, believe it or not, is less than a month away.
I'm cheating right now. I'm looking at your list. So yes, we have the ISA preview coming up on or around the 5th of April. That should publish. And then episode 7 is the one I was thinking about. That's the ISA Expo review. I mean, those are our favorite ones to do. The ones done live, they're not live, but the ones created on a show floor
Yep.
are always the most fun for us to do. ISA is running from April 10th through the 12th. We will be there all day on the 10th and the 11th and partial day on the 12th. We will be in the Mamanki booth at 11 o'clock each day talking about Confident Color. But if you'd like to connect with us there, this is probably as good a time as any to start planning that. If you'd like to connect and be on the podcast to talk about other things, that's fine. And then that episode will publish around April 19th. And
Hmm.
after that, we're not going to talk about the ones after that, but this is weird. We have a plan. All right, anything else, or should we wrap it up for the week before
I
I
think we can
spoil the
wrap it
next
up.
8 episodes?
That's okay.
All right. We will see you again for episode 5.